So yesterday marked one of the most important long runs that I'm going to have going into my spring marathon 2025. But I had an idea based on that long run that had a lot to do with what my goals were for 2025. So you're going to find that in another video. But more importantly, what today actually marks is the first official day of my Christmas break. I'm a school teacher. I get 2 weeks off at Christmas. This is Monday. This is just going to be a recovery run, but it had me thinking that maybe it was really important that I share with you some tips that I had to keep the marathon training moving, to keep your running training moving, to keep everything moving forward so that when we hit that new year, we can hit it running and we know we're ready to smash some of those goals that we've got coming up. Now, for me, I've always seen this as a very important time of the year because since I do have those 2 weeks off, and maybe this is a little bit unique, but it gives me a chance to really focus and dial in what I need to do. But it does come with quite a few hurdles. That is the Christmas and holiday season. So I've got what I think is going to be 9 tips. It may change by the end of this video, but 9 tips on how you can get through the holiday season and come out even stronger on the other side. All right, let's get this video started. So my son just said, by the way, this is my son Dylan, if you haven't seen him in some other videos. It's pretty early in the morning, but he beats me up even though my alarm goes off really early. But he just said, remember that movie that we just watched yesterday called Detergent? It was Divergent. Close. But let's start off with tip number 1. And tip number 1 is remember your why. Remember why you're doing this. And this guy right here has an awful lot to do with it. I actually have 2 main reasons why. One really keeps me going, and that is what I say a lot of this channel is what matters to me most is my family. And so I want to be fit. I want to be able to keep up with them most of the time. My number 2 why is that I do specifically have goals that I want to meet. And in the marathon, those goals are going to become abundantly clear if you stick around and watch my channel. But remember your why. Post that somewhere. If you've got a spot in the house that you need to post those goals so they can remind you, that's not just around Christmas time or the holiday season, but it is a good time to keep reflecting back on why you're doing this in the first place. And one of those whys I get to spend a whole lot more time with over the holiday season. So tip number 1, remember your why. Protein pancakes with banana slices. Now, this is not something I normally get to eat before I go out on any sort of run, let alone a recovery run, because usually in the mornings we're in a rush to get that run in before we have to get off to work. But we're on our break. Tip number 2 definitely has to do with this. It has to do with nutrition. Now, I know we hear a whole lot about the 80-20 rule, and over the Christmas break or any time of the year for that matter, you don't have to stick to your diet 100%. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm not gonna preach even that 80-20 rule. But what I am gonna say is that as a runner, I've noticed I have the ability to eat so many more calories than if I wasn't running so much. And what that results in, or what that makes me do, or what can happen sometimes, is that I eat a lot of really, really bad food. And there's so much that gets put in front of you over the Christmas holidays, over the holidays in general. So for me, I have to focus on still making sure that I'm getting enough protein, that I'm getting enough nutrients, that I'm getting enough of all of the things that I need to support my training. I'm not going to try to overeat, but it can be so hard. So even though you might reach for those cookies, even though you might be able to get away with it, that I feel I can as a runner sometimes and not pack on the pounds, you still need to worry about making sure that you get the right nutrition in. So tip number 2, you don't have to stick to 80-20, but make sure you're still getting the nutrition you need in to support your training. That's tip number 2. I'm gonna eat these pancakes, I'm gonna drink this coffee, and I'm gonna get out for a little bit of a recovery run. So yes, we're going to get out on that recovery run and we're going to get to the rest of these tips, but I came to the office to get my shoes for that run and I saw this sign, and if you're a very long time subscriber of the channel, you might remember this video. There's a sign back here that says do it for them. It's hard to point when you're looking backwards on the camera screen, but do it for them. Underneath those pictures that are added there, it says don't forget the mantra. I did that as a video as I was training for my first marathon. It's a little bit of a Simpsons reference, but just wanted to point that out. You'll see that in the background of so many of my videos. All right, enough about that. Let's get out on the run. It is cold out here this morning. It's minus 17, feels like minus 23. And we're out for a recovery run after a really solid long run yesterday that really I think marks a little bit of a turning point for me in my training. Getting out with a couple of friends that I haven't run with for a while just makes those runs a little bit nicer and really helps. So we're gonna go on a nice easy recovery run today, anywhere between 5 and 10K. Just gonna feel it out. Bloody cold out here, so I'm not going to talk for too long, but one thing I will say is that I'm officially on Christmas break. Today is Monday and I've got 2 weeks off as a school teacher, and that means that these morning runs, it's about 8:45. I already have breakfast, which is awesome, and I'm running when it's not dark out anymore, which is awesome. Normally it's before work or after work, both times it's always in the dark, and today we get to run in the light. So excited about that, excited for the weeks to come, excited to share it all with you. So we're gonna get on this easy run, we're gonna stop chatting, I'm gonna put my gloves back on because it is bloody cold. We're gonna go on this run. I liking the neck warmer, by the way. This is, you know what this is? This is a Volkswagen hat that I cut the top off and used as a neck warmer. You don't need fancy stuff when it's cold outside to go for a run. Lots of neck warmers, but this is what I can find. So let's get this run done, put on a podcast, just jog it out. All right. Podcast of the day, Choose Strong podcast, Southern McRae, Yellow Runner, awesome podcast. Just get out there, listen to and cruise. That was a nice easy run. Average heart rate 141, maybe a touch high for a recovery run for me, but that's fine. Conditions aren't perfect. Got a little bit excited about how well I actually felt, but nice and slow, nice and easy. Gonna go inside, warm up, shower up, check out, see what the kids are doing. All right, new week, great start. A little cool, but awesome. Excited for the rest of the week. What a run. Welcome back to the couch, guys. Welcome back after that run. And I say what a run after a lot of my runs. That's because they all have a point. They all have meaning, and that was a really good run. Recovery run, 8 kilometers, nice and easy. And that brings me to my next tip, which is all about recovery. Now, you'll notice that so many of these tips are things that you might want to focus on at all times during your training. They just need a little bit of extra attention over the holidays, and recovery is no different. After every single run, I try to get a protein shake in just to make sure I'm getting enough protein on the day. Carbs are not going to be a problem over the next couple of weeks. So protein, making sure I'm getting enough of that in, but also making sure that you know that your sleep patterns, schedules, everything's going to be off making sure that you're still getting adequate sleep, making sure if you do some yoga or you do some stretching or you do some foam rolling, massage gun, whatever it happens to be, that you're still getting those in. Those are the kind of things that can easily fall off the radar over the holidays. So make sure you get those in, make sure you get your recovery in. And in true Matt Sprague fashion, I gotta wrap this tip up because I've got to head to the mall and do some last minute Christmas shopping, December 23rd, and we're still not done. So we've made it back, guys. We're back in the office, and it is 4:01 Monday, December 23rd, and I have successfully finished my Christmas shopping for this year. I'm very, very happy, very, very proud of that I didn't leave it until the 24th. But you know how I mentioned earlier that I'm off for 2 weeks as a school teacher. I still have my second job, which is working at the gym, and I've got that in just a little bit under an hour now. So I want to wrap up this video by giving you 2 last tips. And this first tip is maybe a little bit more serious, at least serious for me. You'll have to decide whether it's serious for you. And the second one is a little bit of a reflection that I think for a lot of us, at least for me, is gonna bring a little bit of a smile to your face in terms of just where we're at and where we might be able to go in 2025. So this next one might be a little bit more serious for some than for others, but it is around alcohol. Now for me personally, I decided to give up alcohol quite a while ago because it didn't fit well in my life. I was a better person without it than I was with it. Now if you are someone who drinks, that's perfectly fine. I'm not here to judge anybody on what they decide to do around alcohol. I just know what's best for me. And I think over the holiday season, if you have a big workout or if you have a big run or if you have maybe even a recovery run, choosing to drink the night before, the amount that you drink can have an impact on that run. It will always have an impact. So if you are going to indulge, maybe try to cut back just a little bit and be aware of the types of runs that you have in the following days after you decide to celebrate. I'm not saying don't celebrate. I'm just saying if you do, try to make it not impact your training too much. And now we get into that reflection piece. And one of the things I like to do towards the end of the year is I like to look back at how my year has gone in running, look at some of the goals that I set for myself and look at some of those goals that I may have achieved and some of those that I may have come short on. Now, it's a little bit easier for me because oftentimes I'll put those videos out there about my goals for the next year and I can look back at those and see if I actually made them or not. And there's a video coming on that. I can tell you right now, a little bit of a spoiler, that I was able to reach most of my goals. Not all of them, but most, and I am really, really happy with my success. And that reflection of where you were to where you are, when you take a step back and look at the big picture, can really, really give you some confidence moving forward and really kind of has given me a boost over the last few days just to think about how far I've come and think about how far I could go in another year if I started off the year right and got through this holiday season on the right foot. Guys, that's the end of the video. I think we only ended up with 5 tips. But I think they're 5 pretty solid tips. Now, if you have any tips, put them in the comment section down below. Subscribe to this channel if you are currently not subscribed. Give me a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell. My name is Matt, and this has been What Matters to Matt. And obviously, if it hasn't come through in this video, what matters to me most is my family. I'll see you guys in the next video.